You know what that is? That's you got to work against your present bias. I read an article this week that I thought was fascinating. Talked about the notion of present bias, where we're all at heart creatures of procrastination. There was an article on youarenotsosmart.com about procrastination. The guy's talking about how at heart, that's what we want to do.
It's like, nothing?
Yes. At heart, we don't want to make the right choice ever. Their idea was like, people will always pick junk food first, like, or something that is more appetizing to them than going through like, well, I should really
short term like satisfaction versus like long term.
And that's present bias. It's you don't cop to the fact that your taste, or life, everything is going to change over time, and what you want now might not be what you want later on. We're all present bias because we live now. The future is a fantasy. It's a concoction. But it's this wonderful concoction where we get to stuff all of our ambition, all of our hopes, all of our dreams, all of our struggles, goals, everything that we're going to get to one day.
Yeah.
It's just, it's kind of a present bias. You're focused now. Like present bias is the thing where you're at a grocery store. I go to the grocery store. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start eating healthy on Monday and shit. I'm going to buy me some bananas and some lettuce.
Okay.
And then Monday comes and I don't eat it and I just kind of throw it away because it all went bad and shit.
Never wanted it.
Yeah, never wanted it in the first place. Present Kev didn't want it. He was planning for future Kev, but present Kev thinks so highly of future Kev because present Kev knows that present Kev doesn't want to eat that shit.
Yeah.
Like I know myself inside and out and I'm limited. The present self, Scott, knows that it's limited, knows its limitations, knows what it's not going to be able to achieve, knows where its boundaries are. But inside of us is the admiration for and striving to the future self, where we're just like, that golden example of me, that version of me, once I drink the super serum, that version of me is going to be so much better than this present version of me, because that version of me is going to be able to do this. He's going to get around to doing this, going to watch Schindler's List first instead of fucking, taking care of business with Jim Belushi. So your present self always thinks the future self's got everything under control. Like, I'm just I can't handle it now, but I know in a week's time, I'm going to be smarter and better than what I am right now. So I'm going to put all that shit on that version of me. And that's why you buy the vegetables and a few days later they go bad, because when you catch up to future Kev, guess what? He is present Kev.
Yeah.
He hasn't really changed. He's still the same person inside. He'll still kind of procrastinate and put off what could be done today way off until fucking tomorrow, because that's the human condition. And how people get around that, they said, like, basically achievers in life, people that, because they did a study, it's called the marshmallow test, and sat these kids down at this table. They had a camera on me on a fucking window and shit. Put a marshmallow on the table in front of them, and they were like, this marshmallow, and they were like 4 or 5 years old, 3, very young, all under 6. This marshmallow is your marshmallow, and you can eat it right now. But if you wait, I'm going to come back in a few minutes. If you haven't eaten it, then I'm going to give you 2 marshmallows. And so that was the simple instruction.
Yeah.
They walked away. And they said that watching the kids try to not eat the marshmallow was heartbreaking. And there's a video online. You can go online and watch. Somebody did an updated version of it where they did the marshmallow test and they videotaped. It's really kind of cute. If you like, even if you're not like, I hate those fucking kid videos. Yeah. Or if you're not into that kind of like America's Home Video, cutesy nonsense and shit, it's still pretty gripping to just watch a human being struggle with desire. And normally as adults, we hide it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you don't wear it on your face as nakedly as children do. A child's desire, they express physically. Like you watch these kids flap their hands. You watch these kids like pick up the marshmallow, hold it to their face, inhale it like it's a fucking pair of panties.
Did they say that?
And then put it down and then hit themselves. trying not to eat it. And then you'll watch some of them grab a little piece and eat that, and then like go back and eat another little piece.
And then pretty soon did they get into
Some just ate it right away. Some they didn't even leave the room. They were like, this marshmallow is yours, and if you wait, it was right in their fucking mouth. But some, even once it was explained, the tester would leave the room, and the kid, it wouldn't even make it 30 seconds before the kid like took half a bite or something, as if that would be okay. And because the notion, I guess, is that going way the fuck back from when we were primitive human beings, coming out of the primordial muck.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as the future. You know what I'm saying? There was only now, fight to stay alive. I can't get eaten, or I must eat something to stay alive.
Yeah.
I must run. I must get out of the elements. Can't fight wild animals.
There wasn't all the tenses
tools.
of past tense, present tense.
Well, not only was there language for it, but also people weren't like, one day I will do these many things. They were just trying to stay alive.
One day I'll run fast enough to...
Or one day I'm going to watch Joanna Man. That's why I bought the DVD, you motherfucker. They don't have that. These cats are just like, it's the moment. So you are genetically encoded to like now. It has to be now, because there may not be a tomorrow. You watched your relatives get fucking picked off by a saber-toothed tiger or some fucking bear, giant bear, or a weird fucking shark that don't exist anymore and shit. I'm not saying they lived during dinosaur era, but maybe you had an uncle get eaten by the Loch Ness monster or something like that. And you're like, oh my
something
God.
real.
But it's you're kind of programmed to like, I'll take it now. Like somebody says to you, there's a test. They said like somebody says to you, I'll give you $50 right now, or I'll give you $100 next year, same day. Most people will be like, well, I'll take the $50 now, because you don't know where you're going to be in next year.
Might be dead.
And it's just like, I'd rather have 50 now than wait for 100.
50 in the pockets where the bird in the nose.
That's how most people think. But achievers in life and people who accomplish things basically go, okay, because to them, logic makes the rational decision. Logic dictates. It doesn't matter who you are, and it doesn't matter what the time frame is. If somebody offers you $50 scot-free now or $100 later, logic dictates that more is more, and more is always usually better. So a logical creature would say, okay, I will take the higher amount. So you've kind of crushed desire by logically going over it with like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I wasn't going to have this $50 anyway. I didn't plan for it. It wasn't budgeted for. I wasn't counting on this 50. But in 1 year, I'm going to have 100 that I can now count on because it's guaranteed. So logically, I'm going to lean toward the 100. But they said you could even tell those people when the year's up, you know what? We're going to extend it another year. And you'll still get a response of, okay, because logic dictates I wouldn't have that $100 regardless unless these people gave it to me. And the time is immaterial. It doesn't matter when. It's just that I get it at all is more. And that's logic dictates that reason. And they said that like the kids, you could watch the kids who didn't look at the marshmallow at all. You could pick the winners at the starting gate. All the kids that were told
loser.
Pretty much. They basically, the kids who kids who didn't want to like deal with the temptation just looked away, watched the clock, turned around in their chair, kind of stamped their feet or looked at anything but the marshmallow. And that's how they avoided it. They knew, we're all programmed to know, like, of course we want what's easiest and we want it immediately and we want as much of it as possible. But that's not the way that life worked. The idea of present bias is why a child looks at an adult and goes like, how come you don't have more toys?
Yeah.
Because they don't understand that.
Silly.
Yeah, like
fucker.
If I had all your money, it would look like silver spoons. And I don't even know what silver spoons is because that show's been off the air for years.
For?
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Why do we have all this food? Where are all the toys?
Ask him.
I'm like, leave me alone. Present bias is that thing. A kid can't understand why you don't have more toys. My kid would always literally ask that, and I was like, you're right, why don't I have more toys? And then we'd go to Toys R Us and I'd buy shit. And again, that was present bias because I was thinking like future Kev's gonna love this shit.
She called you out.
Yeah, she was like, Dad.
She was like, you're not gonna fucking tell me anything.
Listen, Dad, don't you think you're suffering from a bout of present bias? I'm like, huh? It is. I think that's a great analogy. It's why a kid goes, well, how come you don't have more toys? Because a kid can't understand that one day, dude, you're not going to want toys. One day you're going to want pussy. Nothing but, or cock, but probably pussy. Well, not even probably anymore.
Both.
50-50 shot. You know what? Guess what? In 30 years, it's going to be okay to want both. You're going to eat both, man, like they're fucking Cheetos and Pringles.
Yeah. The Sizzler.
It's a naughty bitch buffet.
To the sex Sizzler.
All you can eat, bitch. Mouth, ass, hands, armpits, cock and pussy everywhere. Welcome
you
to
going
the
back
future.
for more? Hell yeah.
We got a future bias out here, son. The present you is the future you. Whenever you face a decision, face it not based on what you think your reaction will be in the future, because as you've learned time and time again, you are you no matter what happens. And yeah, your taste may change, but that happens slowly. Doesn't happen like a week from now, doesn't happen a month from now or something like that. So in order to overcome that, essentially you just go, okay, the decision I make for the future me is the same decision I make for the present me.
Yeah.
It's not different. So whatever I decide for him, I'm deciding for me. So what can you deal with that? If you're putting it off to later, it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's how people who I guess accomplish and achieve just kind of get over that. They just accept the fact that if we all get what we want at any given moment, nothing moves forward. Like you even run out of people giving what you want because we're all just laying back getting what we want.
Yeah.
So, they understand that even though we're wired to be like, hey man, no, give me it now, nom, 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 because I don't know, they might come get me. It's gone. We're not in that world anymore. But if you want to rewire, essentially you just have to get up and do it now. By doing it now, you are affecting future Kev, future you. In as much as you will make it easier, like, this dream of future you having such an easier time exercising will actually be true.
But you just have the present.
Yes, it starts in the present.
Yeah.
And you never quite get there. It's like you have to get rid of the future and realize that it's illusion. The whole time is illusion thing, of course, it is present. But I mean, future particularly, all that exists is now. And there is no future. I mean, I hate to sound hopeless, but it's just like you can't count on it. It can't be banked on.
No.
It's like saying, I have $1 million in the bank of my imagination. Try to write that fucking check. See how quickly fucking people are like, you're under arrest. Like, why?
Why?
Check.
My mom said I'm a magic man.
I'm full of magic. Can't you see?